hot topics. And let's talk about Doechii, who's coming for the bisexuals, but in a positive way. She's not throwing shade, unlike them dingbats over there at the Breakfast Club, where you got Charlamagne the goddess, you got DJ Dumbass Envy, and then you got just hilarious. So Doechii is continuing to prove herself as a Gen Z icon with her recent appearance on The Breakfast Club. Now, during a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, where like I said, DJ Dumbass Envy, just hilarious, and Charlamagne the Goddess, what it is, Block Boy performer Doechii was questioned about a former partner who she said slept with a man behind her back. Now, she also said she identifies as bisexual. And, you know, of course, with it being, you know, the dummies over there at, what's that show? Because I don't even watch them no more. Like, I've been unsubscribed from The Breakfast Club because they always saying some dumbness over there. Or did you say bitch assness? So when they always try to look for a moment, like I guess to rile up their certain base of homophobes or whatever the case is, to jump in the comments. That's why I don't particularly care for whenever people like the Breakfast Club talk about LGBTQ LMNOP plus issues or the Shade Room or any of them, because I already know what y'all gonna give in them damn comments. But meanwhile, when y'all talk about we try to push an agenda or whatever the case is, with sexuality is a spectrum, sexuality is also fluid. But it's like, why y'all sitting here talking about that we try to push an agenda, be you gay or bisexual or trans? But it's like, but wait a minute, for all of our lives, we've had heterosexuality pushed upon us and it didn't take. So what are you talking about? Or we've had or people get depressed or they want to take in their own lives because they can't live their authentic self because you want them to be straight. So Doechii, who is bisexual, as I stated earlier, began discussing her 2024 song "Denial Is a River," which I absolutely love. First of all, I love her record, her latest album, which references the famed Wendy Williams quote, "Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay," from her Wendy Williams Experience show. Saying denial is a river, I titled it that because I was dealing with somebody who was lying to themselves. But anyway, she laughed before reflecting on her sobriety journey, saying, I came to that point where I realized that I couldn't create music without drinking in the studio. And that was my breaking point where I was like, I have truly forgotten the source of my creativity, the source of who I am. Well, yeah, because drugs definitely dilutes that. And so you have to be open to allowing that creative aspect of yourself to shine through, and don't let the drugs, like the weed, the liquor, all that stuff, people think that that's helping with the creativity. It's actually hindering it. And I remember once upon a time Missy Elliott was saying that that's what that was doing, which is why she quit smoking weed. Now when the radio host turned the conversation back to her past relationship, of course, because they need that thing to get them to go viral, that's what they do. So it's let's focus on sexuality because Americans are so goddamn repressed when it comes to talking about sex and sexuality. So Doechii confirmed that Williams influenced Denial Is a River before being pushed by Charlamagne the Goddess about her experience being with a man who had an affair with another man. Now I do have that clip in case y'all don't remember of Wendy from the Wendy Williams Experience. So hold on. Wait, that's not it. I was like, so let's go to that. We'll play the clip, and then I'll get into the rest of the topic. Please hold.
Lucy's on the phone. She's married to a possible bisexual man.
I'm not too sure about it. I asked him, and of course he denied it. But we had some extra fun sometimes.
Yeah.
And one of that, I saw him did something I was in school, found out.
What did your husband do that made you uncomfortable?
Wendy, he went down.
Down where?
Other guy.
Well, he's
God
gay,
dang,
stupid.
What more do you need to know, you donkey?
How you doing?
What do you need to know, you donkey?
How you doing?
He considered having extra fun. He didn't admit it to me.
Lucy, stop it. Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay. He's guys. If you want to stay, there's nothing wrong with it. To each his own when it comes to relationships, Lucy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I am screaming, child. That was funny. She said, he's gay, he's a homo, he sucks guys. I remember she used to say that on the radio show. I totally forgot about that clip. But, but back in the day, we used to say, how you doing? That definitely was not the official greeting of the show. It was basically a bullhorn as a your man is a homosexual, and that was what it was used for back in the radio days. Because I told you I used to follow Wendy back in her radio days. So to get back to what the whole thing about the bisexual situation, because Charlamagne pushed, probably because he has those feelings, about her experience being with a man who had an affair with another man. And she said, is it shocking? Is it though? She wanted out loud, with the radio host retorting, not in 2024, not really. How do you feel? I mean, how do you deal with that when you find that out? But if it's not a big deal in 2024, then why are you pressing it? And so she said, I mean, that his sexuality was never the problem. She replied after a moment's hesitation. I think the problem was that you cheated on me, so you could have just let me know up front, what your style was. I guess that's short for lifestyle. She says, I'm bisexual. That's cool. I've dated bisexual men. Let me know what it is up front. Charlamagne basically said, it's different when it's a man, though. And then the yucky blucky fruitcake, rapper was quick to make it clear that it truly doesn't matter if a man is bisexual or not. She only cares about whether he's faithful or honest to her, saying, I'll accept you for who you are. It doesn't really matter. I think it's cheating on top of lying and secrecy about what you are, about who you are as a person. She also went on to state that she would absolutely be happy dating a queer man, saying, it's like, how can I be bisexual and then I'm going to not date somebody who's bisexual? Why? Because he's a man? And then, of course, DJ Dumbass Envy basically suggested that people look at it differently when a man identifies as bisexual, saying, in this world, it's okay for a woman to be with another woman, but for a man to be with another man, people look at that differently than a bisexual relationship. And she said, absolutely not. I don't see it that way. This is what she said. I think that sexuality is fluid and I really don't give a damn. And what it is basically that you need more women that think like her instead of y'all going after these damn bird brains who sit up in here and think that, oh yeah, you gay or you gonna cheat on me. I'm like, but wait a minute, you be with a whole heterosexual and they cheat on your ass. So what is that different? How is that different than a bisexual? Because y'all think they being greedy. Those are stereotypes. And there are bisexual people that it's like, yeah, if I'm with a woman, I'm specifically with that woman in that relationship. Yeah, they could look at a man. What, I can't glance and look at other people? Like my eyes are only supposed to be exclusive on you. And that's what I don't like about a lot of these relationships. Well, a lot of y'all run around like these people are y'all property, like it's ownership. These people are not your cattle. They're not like a little dog that you take care of. Y'all supposed to be in an equal partnership. But I do think that it was wrong on his part because he made an assumption that she wouldn't be damn, what's the word? She wouldn't be accepting of who he is. So he decided to take it upon himself to go mess around with another man because he thought that she would be like the other black girls that he's been in a relationship with that would basically call him the F word, that wouldn't be there for him. But you have to give people the opportunity. If you're going to be in these type of relationships, if you're a bisexual person, if you're a trans person, if you're a homosexual, you have to give people, if you are the other, the ability to turn you down. You should not be able to take that situation in your hands because you're worried about rejection. If you truly stand in who you are as a person, you should have given a girl like a Doechii the opportunity. And I understand that a lot of people, it's easier said than done, and people don't want to get hurt. But for the most part, it's like you don't want to, I wouldn't want to steer someone the wrong way and hurt their feelings or cheat on them because it's easier to cheat than to be honest with who I am as a person. It's like, yeah, I'm bisexual, but if you can't be with that, then okay, I'll find me some other pussy. That should be or vice versa. That should be the overall assessment. But I understand a lot of people aren't able to take rejection when it comes down to certain things like that. So yeah, that's what it is on that. So yeah, I'm glad. It's like we need more people like a Doechii to have that dialogue and open it up. And maybe because she is Gen Z, a Gen Zer, that they see sexuality differently than Gen X, boomers, the silent generation, a lot of the older people, because they weren't exposed to homosexuality, bisexuality, or being like the queerness in general. Even when I was coming up as a queer person in the 90s and the 2000s, I wasn't really that exposed to certain things. Now we're starting to see more and more of the exposure. So a lot of the kids, the new generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they've grown up in this era of being exposed more to sexuality and gender identity and these sort of things. So they're way more open-minded. And we just need, like I said, more people like Doechii to push this narrative so that way, people see it from a different point of view, because everybody else in that room, they're over the age of 40. And even though Jess Hilarious, I believe, is in her 30s, she looked like she in her damn 40s. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever you're in regards of Doechii speaking out on bisexuality. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.